Well, welcome back. We've talked a lot about different methods of quitting smoking, and I think you can see by now that none of those common methods that are available on the market actually address both the physical and mental cravings, and also the fight or flight that can occur, and also they don't stop mental cravings from even being generated. In other words, the most common defect of all of those programs is you have to use willpower after you stop smoking in order to stop you from taking action when you get a mental craving. And you have to do that for many, many years, if not your whole life. And at some point, that's not enough, and you end up relapsing. So what we've said over and over again is that we need to stop these cravings from being generated. And that's what the True Quit program really achieves. It really helps you retrain your brain back to the mind of a non-smoker. So that's what I want to talk about with this video, how to retrain your brain back to the mind of a non-smoker. Obviously I can't give you all of the solution here in this video, it's just an overview, because that would take some time. Not as long as you would think, but that's part of what I'm going to do, is overview that, how we would go about that. So first of all, we would teach you the 4 stages that your brain goes through when it generates a mental craving. And then we will teach you what has been disabled in your brain. There's something that's been turned off by the addiction, and that stops you from actually being able to act in a normal way, and makes it out of control that a craving happens. So once we identify what that problem is, then we can solve it. We also explain what the mental craving actually really is. And that is a real eye-opener. It's not what you think. It's quite left field, but when you apply the technique that addresses that craving, you'll find that the technique literally makes the mental craving disappear. So you practice that for some time. There's a slow version, then a faster version, then a much faster version, under a second. So you practice that each time you get a craving when you're quitting. And the craving's disappearing each time. And then after a while, what happens is you take that very fast version and you do it before you have a craving. And that is what fixes the problem that's been disabled. Now, first of all, obviously, you're applying that very fast version manually, right? And we give you we explain to you when and how to do that. So you're doing it manually each time, very quick, just takes under a second. But then gradually that becomes a reflex. And that means that it's happening automatically, which in a way is fixing what has been broken. It's putting back in place what ordinarily should be there. And the result is that you don't generate cravings, because if you're doing the technique before the craving, you don't get the craving. The craving doesn't happen. You're actually stopping yourself from having a craving. And when you do that repetitively, it becomes a reflex. In other words, it happens automatically. And once that's automatic again, it means you're automatically not having cravings. It means you're back to the mind of a non-smoker. So you are then like any non-smoker, that you might get the thought of smoking in your mind, but there's no craving because that technique happens so quickly. It's just so obvious that there's no craving there. I'm actually literally doing the technique right now, and I can tell you there's no craving. Even though I'm talking about smoking, even though I used to smoke a packet a day. So that's a very quick overview. Now, how do we go about the process of that? Right, so we get you, let's say you decide to go ahead with the program, and why wouldn't you? You sign up, and you then get, what's opened up to you is the next set of videos in your account, which is the preparation videos. And they explain everything I just talked about in detail, but in a way that everyone can understand. Now, and that fully prepares you for quitting. And so then the next step is actually teaching you the techniques. And you practice those techniques so that you become confident. And then then you're actually stopping smoking, you're applying the techniques, the mental cravings disappearing, the nicotine's being flushed out. Now we know that it takes 3 days for 80% of the nicotine to be flushed out. So one option that you have is to have a treatment that we offer that literally helps your body readjust more quickly so that you don't get those physical cravings, or if you do, they're extremely minor. So at this point you've stopped smoking. Then there's support. There's daily videos that we send you instructing you on what to do each day, because it's just a step-by-step process, like paint by numbers. And of course there's the telephone support that you know, if you have a problem that's not addressed in these daily videos, you can call support 7 days a week. And you keep on getting these daily videos all the way through until your mind has been fully retrained, till you literally don't get cravings anymore and you're not having to use willpower. And you actually are experiencing that you can hang around with smokers, see people smoking, remember you used to smoke, and just experience the freedom of not having a craving. And it is no effort, there is no resistance. It's extremely liberating. So it is just a learning experience, and it effectively is developing a skill that anybody can learn. So I really encourage you to take the next step now and actually enroll in the program and go through and stop the quitting cycle, break the quitting cycle by actually understanding all of the problems and having a solution to each part of the problem, and really retraining your brain back to the mind of a non-smoker. So if that's you, if you're ready to take the step, which is actually not even a risky step, because you're actually learning step by step. There's no rush. You can just do it at your own pace. And of course we have all the normal things that, you know, if for whatever reason, you know, you've actually not the regular human and beamed down from Mars or something and it doesn't work for you, there is obviously a money-back guarantee and the normal refund policies and things like that. But we find that people just don't need to go there, because literally when you follow the instructions, you end up getting the result. It's as simple as that. And that doesn't mean you need to be perfect. Of course not. Learning anything, you know, it's a process. That's why we have the telephone support. That's why we have the video support, because we understand that people learn in stages. So take the next step, and then that will lead to the next step and the next step, and then before you know it, you'll be free of cravings and you'll have the mind of a non-smoker. So I hope we can welcome you into the program so that you can actually be one of the many thousands of people that we've helped to quit smoking. And it'll be an honour to help you.